I was one of those vulnerable men that fell to the marketing, and I helped propagate that with my sales and marketing efforts on his team, right?
So how did you help propagate that?
People who would sell the war room. We played into the insecurities of men, meaning that when you saw Tate with a Bugatti, for example, or you saw Tate as a 4-time kickboxing world champion, he made you believe that that was the ideal that you needed to become in order to get women in your life.
When you talk about women, are you talking about just sleeping with women or establishing a relationship with women?
Absolutely not. The war room is all about you getting women that serve you in your life, that benefit.
What do you mean serve you?
So the war room has a methodology called the PhD, the Pimping Host Degree. Although it was removed from our website, and although it's no longer officially called that, which is find a woman that's attracted to you, and obviously sleep with her, and eventually you put her through a sort of Pavlovian conditioning where, for her to get your attention, she has to complete tasks, then bigger tasks, and eventually her whole world becomes you, and she has nothing else except you, and she completely serves you completely. Quote unquote, you could call it a slave. She has to do more things for you, whether it's, wash the dishes, do errands for you, or eventually do OnlyFans webcam, which was encouraged inside of the war room.
A lot of people might say that to teach men to coerce and manipulate women, to use Pavlovian conditioning, like you said, into working in the sex trade is immoral and wrong.
I would never do it personally. I've never done it personally.
But that was a big part of what the war room did.
It was.
Do you regret that you played a part in it?
I don't regret it. Why would I feel guilty of something that I had no control over?
Well, you were part of the marketing team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But during that time, I was brainwashed. All of your friends are inside the war room. All of your connections are inside the war room. All of your knowledge you consume every day is inside of the war room, and they actively encourage you to cut off the surroundings in your real life. And you start cutting off friends. You cut off, old co-workers. And
do they encourage that?
They encourage you. And actually, let me tell you a very scary thing. One of the members inside the war room, Iggy Xianghui, he goes under a few different names, tells you that your new brothers inside of the war room are your new life. Everyone else before that, it doesn't matter. We have here the truth of life, and if you want to follow us, you have to, quote unquote, kill your parents symbolically, because they may not agree with the things that you're learning here, but it will impede you from moving forward inside of our organization if you do not kill your parents. And I thought that was a very scary thing. But at the moment, I actually believed it, believe it or not. I was so brainwashed. The war room and the events, they literally describe it as a cult. Xianghui, Iggy, he basically said, let's not kid ourselves. This is a cult.
Who's in charge
of the war room? Iggy is at the top, yeah. But he definitely, when you spoke to him, he definitely had an agenda. He definitely influenced you in ways that were not of your own thinking.
How do you mean?
He literally would tell me that I went inside of your brain and I rearranged things. I went in the attic and I started moving the furniture around, is how he would describe it. So he was very good at reprogramming brains.
And what's his agenda?
I couldn't really tell you exactly what the agenda would be, other than, again, take over the world, I guess. It's very, very grand aspirations.
So according to Eli, the war room is a cult that, while not all members will act on this, teaches men to groom women and is run by a mysterious man named Iggy Semmelweis.
This is the war room of Andrew Tate.
And Andrew Tate is the secret weapon Iggy uses to market Twitter and other social media platforms. He uses that following to market his app, The Real World. 200,000 of these followers filter into the app, where they are then sold courses, pushing them to the war room. This final tier consists of hundreds of Tate's most ardent followers. But once they're in, they find not just Tate, but Iggy Semmelweis lying in wait. So who is he?
Welcome, my brothers, to the Iron Shadows.
It turns out his real name is Miles Sonkin. He was born in Chicago in 1961. His mother was a TV psychic, and he appeared in high school theater productions. He later studied hypnosis and neuro-linguistic programming, a method outlined in books like Frogs into Princes and The Structure of Magic, based on the unverified belief that you can influence the way a person will act using only your choice of words and tone of speech.